The real reason why you haven't gotten your first wholesaling deal yet. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I really want to share exactly why you haven't gotten your first wholesaling real estate deal, and most importantly, what you should do about it. And really, what I want to do is really open your eyes up to the entire wholesaling real estate industry, the entire wholesaling real estate business, and really share with you some key lessons that you need to know if you haven't gotten your first wholesaling deal so you can make exactly the changes you need to so you can actually become successful. What I really want to break down is my 1,000 deals experience in wholesaling real estate and the millions of dollars I've made, and really, most importantly, the hundreds of thousands of lives I've changed in wholesaling real estate. And I can tell you, I've seen people struggle for months and months and months and then finally get their first deal. I find people get their first deal really quick and instantly and fast. And honestly, like a lot of it comes from a learning curve, a lot of it comes from just trial and error, and a lot of it just comes from people. And I'm going to just really talk about what it really takes to get your first wholesaling deal and really what you need to know. But before I get into it, do me a big favor. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. I appreciate everybody who hops on these things, everybody that comes in and watches and learns exactly what to do and how to become successful, right? So make sure you all hit that like button and subscribe, comment below your questions, and I'd love to help as many people as possible today learn wholesaling real estate and really get the best success possible. But we really got to talk about this starting out. If you haven't gotten your first wholesaling real estate deal, what should you do? And I think the first thing people think is, I should panic. I should flip out. And then you got 4 or 5 other gurus saying, if you haven't gotten your first wholesaling deal, it's because you haven't done this one thing. Pay me $5,000. I'll teach you it all. It drives me crazy, right? We are in an information age in wholesaling real estate where wholesaling real estate knowledge is absolutely for free. Anyone really can go learn wholesaling for free, and there's really no thing that's going to affect it or change them actually becoming successful, right? A lot of things in wholesaling has changed in the past 10 years, but one thing I can tell you is it's actually easier than ever to get your first wholesaling deal. First of all, the information is not put away and it's in this hidden chart and vault where you can't get to anymore. It's pretty much out and free on the internet. So I think the first misconception some people get is they feel like the secret door where people are talking, that's where the real money's at. That's where the real thing is, because it's not, okay? And I can tell everybody watching this, there's no secret method or super secret society or group that's going to give you all the wholesaling riches in the world. I meet with people basically on a monthly basis that make way more money than me in wholesaling real estate. I'm talking tens and tens of millions of dollars, real estate investing and all these things. And they've never listened to anything I've said, and they're able to make tens of millions of dollars. And there's people that have these secret groups that they're broke gurus and they actually know what they're talking about, right? And they listen to me all the time. And they got people that don't listen to me that do well and people that don't, and all these things. So like, I can tell you is, yes, I like to say that I am, the one-stop shop. I am the expert genius, Mozart, Einstein of wholesaling. I'm the greatest ever. I'm the best wholesaler ever, and no one can beat me. And I mean, a lot of wholesalers can't beat me, and I would say I'm top 1 of the 1%, like tippy top when it comes to skill set. But I'm not the best, or I'm not the richest, wholesaler in the world. I've not made $100 million in wholesaling yet, but I'm working on it. But what I could tell you is there's plenty of people that have learned without my knowledge that became very successful. So and there's people that aren't successful that learn from me, and people that listen to me and they do very well, right? There's a lot of factors out here, but the one thing I could tell you is there's not this one person or this one guy or this one secret that it's going to help you change everything. And I think that's the first thing we got to understand in wholesaling real estate, that it's not about you going out here and learning exactly the key for everything, right? There's not one big secret. And you guys seen this all the time. I think you guys are smart enough. There's all these little scams and DMs and new products out here that's, take this pill, you're going to get a 6-pack. There's the secret to everything that's going to change your life. It's not the thing, okay? I think that's the first thing you got to understand when it comes to not getting your first deal. I think the first problem so many wholesalers have is they have this analysis paralysis, but it's a deeper layer than that. I sort of call it information paralysis. Because of the huge advent, the huge influx of information, of really free information about wholesaling, right? And Ever since I started giving out free wholesaling content and free wholesaling courses, the gurus had to give some free stuff out just to try to lure you in even more because their stuff wasn't selling. And because of this, more wholesaling information is coming in out from the ether, it seems like, into you guys on YouTube, right? Like it's coming out of everywhere. And the main issue with that is a lot of people, they listen to all these types of people on exactly what to do, how to do this, and this, and all these things. And it gets really confusing. Like guys, I remember sitting down today thinking about like how to write this video. All I literally did is I went on YouTube because the Dolphins didn't play today. We're not going to talk about that game. But I was kind of looking at all these YouTube, and all I literally did was I just searched how to start wholesaling. And I looked at like 4 or 5 of the top ones, the middle ones that don't get a lot of views. And I kind of just looked at them, like, if I'm a beginner, I'm going to search it. How do I do this, right? Because I actually made that internet search when I started out, 2017, 2016. And it's kind of funny what I saw there. They're like 2-minute videos, how to wholesale houses. It's kind of funny. It's like, you really teach me wholesaling in 2 minutes. But I was sort of watching them, and I didn't watch mine at all. I would probably say a quarter of them were pretty good, like decent information. The other 75% was just utter garbage. And I'm not saying who, but like I was watching them, I was like, holy moly! And I look and I'm like, you don't show one check, no one do whatever, but like I'm like, geez. And I don't think it was good info, but like if I mix and matched all the info together, it's really confusing because one guy or gal is going to say cold call using this script, then cold call this list, but don't do this list, but text this list, do this, but you got to pay me to learn this. Also do this crazy new strategy, put this on here, add this little thing over, take over this lady's contract, do this crazy thing, have them sign. Like I was getting overwhelmed just looking at it because it's so crazy because I always forget because most of these YouTube videos are trying to sell you on courses and mentorship and stuff. I always look at the subconscious on these videos. Now there's 25%, I would say pretty good, cream of the crop, good stuff. But like the other information, I'm just looking at all these people getting information. It's just like, they're all confusing on purpose and then selling you a course to simplify things. And it's really learning how to cook something in different cultures. And that's the way I look at it. So one example I can tell you is if I want to learn how to make really good rice for dinner, okay, I might go first to Japan and they'll show me how to make really good rice. And then I might go to Mexico, and the way they make rice in Mexico is a lot different than they make it in Japan. It's still amazing, right? But like it's different. I might see how Puerto Ricans make rice, right? And then I can go to India and see how they make rice, right? And I go all over the world and see how they make rice. And if I combine a little bit from everything and I make my own little rice dish for dinner, it's going to taste terrible. All right, there's going to be spiciness. There's going to be something sour in it. There's going to be some crazy stuff everywhere. There's going to be some crazy fish in it. There's going to be like, if I take just a little piece from everyone and mix it together, not in a good context, it's going to be terrible. Like absolutely terrible. Okay. Because you're not listening to one particular type of it and you just mix and match what you think, it's going to be terrible. And I think a lot of people are starting to do that. They're learning how to, maybe add soy sauce in the rice, but also I'm going to add spicy curry. And then I'm going to like do this crazy. And then you just mix all these things together. It'd be terrible. Right. And I think that's the problem a lot of people have. They listen to 5 or 6 different people how to cold call, and they kind of mix and match their own script together. And it looks like a literal Frankenstein, like they're stitching things together, just don't look right. Okay. They put a foot on the arm, and then they put the head on the femur. Like it just looks weird. They're starting to stitch things, but like it's not cohesive. And I think a lot of wholesalers are having this problem where, number one, why they're not getting a deal is because they're information overloading themselves. They're trying to learn everything at the same time, and it's absolutely terrible. It's like, use a sports analogy. I'm sorry to say this, but like it's like playing football when you're running schemes at once. It's like running the Wildcat, by running the West Coast offense, by running the spread, and then on that, let's add a pro style offense and then mix it up into one play. It's like, it ain't going to work. Like this is not cohesive. And you just got to understand that. I think so many wholesalers feel like they can mix and match things and make it like a star basketball team, right? Where I got a really good center, I got LeBron here, but I also need a shooter. Like it doesn't work like that. Okay, like you got to stick to some principles and you got to really simplify things. And the number one thing I can tell everybody who's watching this video is if you really want to simplify these things, And a lot of people have talked about like this. A lot of people have explained wholesaling, and a lot of people explain it. But the best way to explain wholesaling, and after talking to people that make tens and tens of millions of dollars a year, people make millions, people make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. I talk to basically every single top wholesaler. I'd say 98% of the top wholesalers, the top 1% of income earners have DM me or DM me or have them in my contacts on my phone. They all ask me a bunch of stuff. Okay. I got one asking me some interesting stuff right now about virtual markets. But like behind the scenes, I always talk to them. I always get information. I like seeing what's working on a high level, right? And this is stuff I give back to you guys. So a lot of them, they want information. They want to start a YouTube channel. I kind of help them out a little, and then I get some information from them, right? And it helps me in my own wholesaling business. We do JV deals. It's great, right? It's they're like hidden masterminds, and I don't pay, right? They just got my phone, and I talk to them, right? But like one really important thing I can tell you is after talking to all of them, they all work their businesses like assembly lines and conveyor belts. And what do I mean by this? What I mean by this is they work their businesses just like an assembly or a conveyor belt. And if you want to think of a conveyor belt, one really important thing I've always seen when it comes to conveyor belt systems or assembly lines, you kind of look at like how Henry Ford did things, right? Henry Ford had an assembly line which was revolutionary at the time, right? Like you put the wheel on the chassis, and then you kind of put the seats on there, and then you start putting the engine on, and you kind of do it. Every single person does a little thing down the line, and it makes it so much faster. And an assembly line is sort of the same way, you know, just with manufacturing where, okay, so if we're going to make, I don't know, something, right? Let's say we're going to make a hat. You know, we got the stitching on here, and then we got the other stitching you're going to add on there, and then add it on the other page, right? Maybe make the paper for something, then you print it, and then you go down the line. Wholesaling real estate is really a three-pronged assembly line approach. And really, I don't care how anyone does their wholesaling business. 99% of them really do it on a three-pronged approach because that's what wholesaling real estate fundamentally is, right? And wholesaling real estate fundamentally, at the end of the day for everything, is marketing, acquisitions, and dispositions. That is, you can mix it up, mash it up, do whatever you want. But if you are a wholesaler doing wholesaling real estate, you are really using this conveyor belt system. What this means is you take a lead in, so you go out looking for leads, you put it to acquisitions, and then you convert that yes into a contract. And then that contract goes to dispositions, and that contract is sold for an assignment fee, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 50, whatever price it is, like a lot of money, right? And that is how the assembly line process works. And if you look at an assembly line, right, and I am not proud to say this, but as someone that had to take a lot of classes on operation management, supply chain issues, and all these crazy things that I don't know why I took all these classes, but I took a lot of like supply chain university classes and operation management. And, you know, after like going on like 2 or 3 of those type of classes for operations for businesses, I learned one thing. And I'll tell you, like, I would say college is kind of it pretty much is a scam. I mean, I got paid to go to college, and I always had leftover scholarship money for everything I did. But like one thing I'll share with you guys, I'll share an interesting experience, which is this something that it took me like I'd say a year or two into the business to really learn scaling up really well. That I kind of learned that class, but I didn't really use it till now. And this is kind of me thinking to other people. It's like the bottleneck approach. I never had this issue, so I never really thought about it until I started teaching people this. But like the biggest issue in like an operation management system, when you have a conveyor belt, you got leads, you got things like this coming in, you're manufacturing. The biggest issue, we saw this in 2020 a lot, just with businesses around the globe, but like this is bottlenecks, right? Bottlenecks are going to be the worst possible thing you can have in a business. And really what a bottleneck is, if I can use like a synonym for it, is basically just like if you got one end of a bottle that's like really thin and everything's going through it, it's going to be a lot slower to get that done, right? It's pretty simple, right? It's like you have an 8-lane highway, and the highway for like 10 miles goes down to 2 lanes. It's really going to slow things up. If you ever travel and then you get some person gets an accident and there's 3 lanes that are cut off and they got to merge at like a 5 o'clock, It's an insane, like it just slows down the process. And for a lot of businesses, that's always the biggest issue. You got this bottleneck, right? You got the cash buyers coming in. You got really good acquisitions, but the main bottleneck in so many people's businesses right now is just the marketing, right? And it's just feeding leads. That's the one thing I want people to understand. You have to feed your leads to create that fuel. And the main engine to this conveyor belt system is there's three, but the main component and the one you should be spending 70, even 80% of your time, if you're getting good with cash buyers, you can do 80. If you struggle with cash buyers, probably do 70% of your time. It's just marketing. Marketing is the fuel. Marketing is the thing that starts the engine running, because how am I going to start selling contracts if I can't even get a contract? And then you look like, how do I get a contract if I don't have any leads? So it's all the blame game until you get to marketing. So if I want to start this assembly line going, you got two people down the line waiting to work on the things. Hey, I'm working on closing leads and I got to work on selling the deal. Well, I'm waiting on my man marketing over here, right? And so you want to understand what the fuel is. The reason why you haven't gotten a deal most likely, and I talked to thousands of people that are struggling to get in the first deal, it's marketing. It's not having enough fuel. The assembly line's not running, and it's not running smoothly, or it stops all the time because the marketing's not running. And I can tell you that acquisitions and dispositions can deal with it. And I promise a lot of you guys can deal with it. And a lot of people, like, I call it the fuel, I call it the gas, I call it whatever you want for it. But like, when a car stops running, especially a lot of new wholesalers out here, they like to blame it, right? Like, you don't look at the gas tank, the car just stops running. Oh, the car broke down. A lot of people, like, this is how people are looking at their business right now. The car is broken down the side of the road and they're like, you know what? The car is not moving, Zach. It is your fault. This car sucks. It's terrible. It's the worst car in the world. You know, if I had a different car, I'd still be running. And y'all's gas tank is empty. And you're blaming the car, when really you should be blaming the gasoline. There's no gas, there's no fuel in this thing. How can we actually get going if you have no fuel? And so if the assembly line is a car, which, I mean, there kind of is, I mean, kind of like it's kind of like an assembly line. If you look at it, like, you put gas, you start the engine, it runs, and then the wheels start going, right? Like, you kind of look at it like that. If you got no gas, that's going to be a big bottleneck. Now, I can tell you is, yes, sometimes the engine's breaking down, and that's the problem. There's full of gas, right? And maybe it's a bad acquisitions issue or dispositions issue, but rarely, and I'll tell you, rarely, 90, maybe at worst, 80% of people struggling at their first deal all comes down to the marketing side. And you ever wonder why I focus so hard on marketing when I'm teaching? Or why do you think the biggest module in wholesaling real estate in freewholesaling.com is marketing? Because that's where 80 to 9% of people struggle. And that's where the real work in wholesaling real estate is. Finding the deal is always going to be the hardest part. And even when the markets start crashing, still finding deals is going to be the hardest part. Because with the advent of technology, Facebook groups, for rents, all these things that really weren't a thing in the last crash, it's easier than ever to find people looking to buy property and cash buyers. And really, if your population is decent enough, that really should be not the least of your concern, but like not an insane big deal. When marketing should be the main factor, right? And the main issue people have with marketing is they're doing what everyone else is doing, and they're expecting a different result. And that's not how you should be doing it. A lot of you guys are blaming the car, when most of the time y'all should be out here blaming the gas. And you're looking at it, I think a lot of wholesalers are like, well, how do I know if I'm running out of gas? How many leads you got? How many leads did you have in the first week of December? How many leads? How many leads first week of January, February? Like, you got to look at this stuff. And, you know, that's not really even the gas tank, right? And that's just how many leads you have is an indicator. It is an indicator, but like, I think the main indicator is how many offers you do give. And marketing does come down to acquisitions with offers, but like, that conveyor belt isn't producing anything without any offers. It's not producing anything with any cash buyers. It's not producing anything with any leads. But offers and leads are going to be really important. And how do you produce leads with your marketing? And a lot of you guys just look at the leads you're producing. Look at your marketing. How much are you doing? Like, how much gas are you putting in the tank? And so my biggest issue, and I want everyone to understand this, is I do one-on-ones. I love talking to everybody one-on-one. Hopefully I talked to some people one-on-one today. I love doing it. I'm here to help everyone, right? I do it absolutely for free because I want to help the people. But the one thing I have to tell you is if you put, let's say, 2 gallons of gas in your car and you wanted to drive from if you want to drive from New York to LA on $6 worth of gas, and you come to me and you say, Zach, this car is terrible, and it didn't get me to where I wanted because the car is terrible. I need a new car, and I want to get a new car. And this is, I drove this thing in a Ford Excursion, and honestly, I really need to Escalade. That's really what's going to change. I'm going to put 4 gallons of gas, and it's going to give me from New York to LA. I'm like, what? Legit, people come to me, especially these one-on-ones, and I'm not blaming anyone. Everyone can come up. If you're vulnerable, I no judgment. I still don't judge at this part, but I do have to give some people some reality checks. If you want to go 1,000 miles in a car and you're only going to put 3 gallons in it, you should expect at most to go 100, 120 miles. If you have like a really good Prius type car, right? And I just got to look realistic to you. You can't expect crazy things. People cold call 100 sellers, like literally just make 100 dials and expect to make 100 grand. And it's kind of funny because I remember starting this business making 100 dials like every hour, every other hour for 5 hours straight, 5 days a week for a year straight. I remember getting up at 4:30, 5 a.m. to put 50 bandit signs out before I went on a wrestling tournament while I was cutting weight. I remember going out here trying for dollars for hours and hours on end. And it's kind of funny, and a lot of people have these crazy expectations, and your expectations have to match the marketing. Your expectations have to match your action. And I've always had one mantra, and I'll always say it, and I'll keep saying it forever, but it's true. Action equals results. So if you come up to me and you say, Zach, I want this result, I'll ask, what action are you going to take to equate that result? And I have asked everybody, and I get some people that give me answers, and I get some people that don't give me answers. But the ones that always become successful, the ones that always get the deals, the ones that always do well, they give me a result they want, and they tell me what action they're going to take. Half of the people, they will not do the action that they say they're going to do. And that's okay. Some people can't do that. But I'll tell you, the people that match the action with the result it takes, those are the dangerous people. Those are the people who actually know what they want, and they go after it. A lot of wholesalers can't do that, and a lot of wholesalers don't, or they won't want to. But action equals results. And I can tell you is, spending 45 minutes figuring out ARV is probably not the best use of your time. I think a lot of wholesalers get that really confused. But yeah, and I'll tell you one thing about cars and wholesaling and all these things, but like a lot of y'all will literally put some of y'all will put diesel in a regular car and expect it to go, or they'll put like this trash gas that's like half water, half gas, and they expect these crazy results too. They might do the work, but their work is not matching the actual goods. So when they, I put 100 gallons in my car. What kind of fuel did you use? I kind of make my own fuel out of corn and whiskey, and I kind of mixed it up and I put it in the car, and it's not going. It's probably the car that's the problem. I get people that come up to me and say, Zach, I'm cold calling, but I'm using this guru script because I think this guru script is going to work. Even though this guru, he's driving the fancy car, but he never really shows checks anymore. But that's okay, because he has a cool car, or he has this great personality. I love that. Someone said, this guy's he's a great personality though. I'm like, this stuff ain't working though. His info's trash. I care less about his personality. Is personality going to get you some money in the bank account? No, it ain't. Okay. Go listen to some like Dave Chappelle or someone hilarious, Gabriel Iglesias, if you want some personality, right? Go listen to some stand-up comics if you want some personality, okay? Like, this ain't the place for personality, okay? This is a place for making money. And if you're using terrible gas, terrible fuel for your marketing, how do you expect to hit the results? It drives me crazy, but like, you can't expect results if you don't put in the work. And I want everybody to watch this and understand that. And now I'm going to use one more analogy that works very well for marketing. And I know I'm the analogy guy today, but it helps me really visualize how to get deals and what to do. And really the moral of the story here today is if you're not going far in the car you want to go, put more gas or figure out what's wrong with the car. So if you're marketing like crazy and you're not getting any deals, and guys, this is 20%, which remember, now I'm talking to 20% of the audience. I'm mostly talking to 80%. That's most of the people. But let me talk to 20% of the people watching. Maybe you are putting the right fuel in your car. Maybe the car's just got a faulty problem in it, right? Maybe the tires are flat or something like right? Hop on the one-on-one and talk to me. I would love to talk to you. I actually talk to some people like this on a weekly basis where their marketing's good, but their acquisition stinks. The way to give offers stinks. And they have a lot of these issues. And maybe they're going through the wrong list. Maybe they have the terrible guru script, like some of these things. And I have plenty of people where they have a terrible script and I switch up their script and boom, they start getting leads, right? And I remember one guy I was talking to and he was struggling. And I'm like, dude, you're in a terrible market. Go to this market instead, this virtual market. And like lo and behold, boom, started getting deals because he was marketing well, but he was just in a terrible market. Switched up markets, boom, perfect. Because I knew he had a problem with his oil. He just needed more oil in his car, right? Like that's the way I look at it. It's not the gas, it's the oil, right? And I can go under the hood and look at it. And I can audit anyone's wholesaling business pretty quick. But I'm going to ask you the most questions, right? And, you know, it's always funny the way I look at it, but like, it's the honest truth. And for most people's problems with their wholesaling cars is they just want to put gas in it. And I can go down the line on the most common parts till I hit that thing, right? And I've had very rare ones, right? I've had people where their main issues, they didn't ask the right questions or they had a bad title company. All the way to I don't know how to get lowball offers the right way, or I'm so stuck on comps and I'm not giving up, like too scared to talk to people. There's so many of these type of things out here. You just got to learn what to do. The next part is marketing is a casino. And what I mean by this, right? And I think this is a very important part, but like, how do you win in a casino? First of all, the house is always going to be the winner. But the cool part about it is when you're betting differently in wholesaling versus a casino. Because wholesaling is like a casino. But the coolest part about the wholesaling real estate marketing casino is you have the advantage. The house doesn't have the advantage in wholesaling. You have the advantage. And you don't really bet money too much. You bet some time, right? I say, but you're betting on yourself. And that's the coolest part. You know, you're not betting on some roulette thing to hit or something like sometimes you are, but like most of the time you're betting on yourself. And if you're going to bet on yourself, you better hope you do as good as you can. And if you bet on yourself and you absolutely don't do well, who's there to blame? Yourself. And that's a lot of accountability to have. And the next part about marketing is it is a numbers game, right? Like, and you look at casinos, it's a numbers game, right? So like if I'm playing roulette and I hit and I put it on even, okay? I think even's black, right? Even. I hit on, or no, there's black, red, and then even odd, right? I put it on even. Theoretically, I think there's a 49% chance it's even, right? Because they got the two greens on each side, right? 198 divided by 2, 47.5 or something like that, right? That it's going to hit, let's call it 48, 49%. It's going to hit odd or even, right? Theoretically, if I bet 100 times, I'm going to win it 48, 49 times, right? Maybe 47. Over a long period of time, I know what I'm going to get. If I do just 3 bets, I might win 80%. I might win 20%. It's very rare in the short term. But the one thing is, if I just want a chance of winning something, if I play at least 3 times, I'm going to guarantee myself I'm going to get something, right? And wholesaling is like that. It's like playing roulette, but you're playing on the numbers instead. You're not playing on even or odd. There's no 50% chance to get a deal for something unless you get the crazy numbers. It's like betting on the number 17, okay? If I bet like 100 times, I'm probably going to hit 17. I might have to get 200 till I hit 17. Sometimes I get 17 on the first hit. Maybe on the second, ball roll, I get 17. Maybe I have to go 400 before I hit 17. Maybe it's 100. But over time, if I bet 10,000 times, overall, it's probably going to be 1 out of 100. But in the short term for a month, it might be 1 out of 300. And I might have a month where it's 1 out of 50. Like it ebbs and flows, but over time, it's 1 out of 100. And wholesaling's like this. It's like, how do I win at the casino? Just like keep betting more. And you don't bet money, you bet on yourself. And the best analogy of this is like just keep cold calling leads. It's a game. So if I'm cold calling code violations, it's like usually for code violations, you pull at least 300-400, and if you can reverse drive for dollars or cold call that list, you're going to get a couple good leads, most likely a deal at 400 to 500, right? And so that is like betting on 17 when the wheel's a little bigger. And maybe you hit on your 50th call, you get a deal. Maybe on your 400th call, you get a deal. Like, are we going to cry and complain? Just keep playing the game. And there is some element of luck to wholesaling, and that's why I don't call it car. Like, it is like cars and fuel, but like there is an element to luck. Lady luck has to be in your favor sometimes. Sometimes you pull a list, you get really lucky, you get a deal the first call. I was talking to one guy, got his first call. They called code violations, first call, boom, deal. I had guys, they call for months and they don't get a deal, right? Lady luck can sometimes be a gift and a curse for you. You got to figure it out, but like it ebbs and flows sometimes. But the honest truth is bet on yourself and you'll do well. And that's the one main reason I can tell you is, so if you haven't gotten your first wholesaling deal and you're watching this video, I would probably say 80-90% of your problems with the marketing. So change it, right? Pull the right lists, do the right scripts, learn everything we do at freewholesaling.com, my free real estate wholesaling course, and you'll be well on your way to wholesaling real estate success. If you got any questions, I'd love to answer them. But yeah, guys, just go to freewholesaling.com and I'd love to help you all out and really see it. But what I want to do is just go to the comments here and really answer some people and answer the questions y'all have. So let's go answer some questions and see how I can help the people out. But remember, guys, go to freewholesaling.com if you want to learn wholesaling real estate absolutely for free. Love to help everybody watching this on how to be the best you can do. So Luke says, are y'all doing one-on-ones? Yeah, let me put it on. I'll actually pin it. I'll pin the streamer link. So free one-on-one. And then boom. All right. I'll put it on here and then we can pin it. And then we'll be good to go. So let's go. All right. We are currently pinned. So if you want to hop on, we'll get people online for the one-on-ones after I'm done answering a couple comments and we'll be good. Let's see. Perfect. All right. I think the stream's going well. So how do I call you? All you got to do is click here. This is the StreamYard link. And remember, if you're watching this with your kids, I can't control what people are going to say on these things. I can always request nicely that they keep it PG-13 because we got 10-year-olds watching, hopefully, right? Like we want the next generation getting into wholesaling, okay? We don't want to work a 9-to-5 job, all right? We don't work for the man. We want to make millions of dollars wholesaling real estate, retire our moms. That's the goal. Like that's what we want, okay? So we got to start them young, 17 was way too late for me. Get it going. So let's answer one quick question from Nikki. She says, how do you find a hot market virtually? So a hot real estate wholesaling market I've honestly always found is if the city's population is over 100,000. I like county populations over 100,000 too, but really in the 200s is what my favorite is. And then from there, I like to find ARVs under 250. You can do 300 for a general rule, but under 200, 250, that's going to be your best way of finding a hot real estate wholesaling market. Markets where there's a lot of really hot activity for cash buyers, areas where there's a lot of landlords buying them, right? You can always look up these things. We did a video on Rick did a channel video on his on how to the top 10 markets. On Flip with Rick channel. Sorry, my bad. It was actually on this channel too. The top 10 hottest secret markets. We kind of shared exactly what to do it. 10,000K. It says, what time should I stop cold calling? Probably 7 p.m. You can push it to 8 maybe, but I would probably not go past 7. That's kind of what I thought. Yeah, we do a little bit of late lives, but yeah, always good to go. And is this for today? Of course it's for today. So let's answer, let's do some one-on-ones and see how I can help the people out, and love it. Yo, Rich.
What's good, bro?
What's up, man? How are you?
Hey, just got a couple quick questions today. First one, so in the contract, it says that we're gonna be buying the house as is. So does that mean we're giving the option to the seller to leave whatever they want behind?
Yeah, the seller can usually leave whatever they want behind. I request that they take things out of it and clear it out just because it's easier, but they never really have to,
Hmm.
theoretically. But yeah,
Okay, cool. And then, I mean, I can get the $100, but worst case, since I'm pretty low on funds, does the EMD have to be minimum 100, or could it be like 50 or even $20?
it can be lower. I wouldn't. You can theoretically do zero. I
Hmm.
like 100. You can technically do zero if you really had to or wanted to. I'm not a
Yeah.
lawyer. See if your title company's okay with that, but it's ultimately up to what your title company says.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I could get the 100,
I've
but
done
just
$0 a
curious.
lot of times though.
For sure, for sure. And then I will probably try to find it on my own, but just curious, would you be able to JV in the Fresno area?
Yeah,
Oh, lit. Okay, okay, cool. Other
it's
than
an easy
that,
market, man, for me. Like there's a lot of people wanting to be there. A lot of the Bay
okay.
Area guys, like they got millions of dollars and they're ready to go. A lot of them are guys that work C-suite on tech companies, not big ones, but like decently sized tech companies that like make millions of dollars and they just want to buy rentals because they
Hmm.
don't want to buy stocks. There's so many of those guys out there, like Palo Alto, um, Stanford area. Like I have a couple cash buyers like that, and there's some really big ones too. I actually know, but yeah, there's a ton of buyers.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, since it's gonna be my first one, I'm gonna try to like find it on my own, but worst comes to worst, it's at least good to know that I have JV
Yeah,
possibilities out there. But other than that, that's just really a quick one, man. Tomorrow is gonna be my first day of officially marketing. Gotta cold call the list, so gotta get that going, man.
awesome. What list?
Uh, since the code violations is kind of old, I'm gonna do the water shut off. So I got about like 150 of those.
Nice,
Try to run through that, and then run through the old leads, or not leads, but the old lists of code violations, and then I'll pull a new one.
awesome, man.
For sure, man. Yeah, thanks for everything, bro. These one-on-ones really help me out.
Appreciate it, Rich. Have a great one.
Yes, sir.
Boom. Awesome. All right, next here we got Reggie.
Yes, sir, Zach.
How are
Couple of
you, man?
questions. I'm doing good, doing good. So, I was on here. I think it was on Friday. So, same deal. It's the what is it? 3-1 and 2-2 with the ADU in the back. So the seller on Friday, when I called him to ask him, I actually called him on Thursday to see what day he'll be available over the weekend. He wanted to reschedule for after Christmas. So I felt in my instinct just to call him again, see if he could do Monday. So he did Monday. He called me today this afternoon saying that he or let me rephrase that. Saturday he called me, or I called him saying, "Hey, I asked him the question. So if I bring the paperwork to sign off on the deal, would you be willing to sign?" He said, "Yeah, he's ready to sign off on the property and everything like that." So today now he comes up, he calls me, say, "Hey, Reggie, this property has a lot of sentimental value to me." Um, and things like that, you know. So I was like, okay, yeah, I completely understand. I know what you mean. Hung up. 5-10 minutes later, I was like, let me see if I can still try to reel this deal in. Called them back, said, hey, seller, I know you said this has sentimental value to you. Do you mind if I still come view the property? I don't want to be that person to say, um, I don't want to. He told me at the call before this, he said, when we're ready to sell, you'll be the first person to call. After that, called them back. I said, yeah, I understand that it has sentimental value, all this other stuff to you. I asked him if I could still come and view the property Monday, so tomorrow. He said sure. Would you say he's a nervous seller or non-motivated?
Um, I mean, did you ask him why he wanted to sell his property?
He wasn't really. When I first called him on the high equity list, called him about it. I asked him a little bit of things about it. I never really asked him the direct question like, "Why are you selling?" He really was the type of. He was like a neutral person. He was like, if you can meet my asking price, I'll sell it to you. Like if it was the right number,
I
he'll
mean,
sell it.
dude, that doesn't sound motivated to me at all.
Yeah.
Like motivated is like, hey, I want to sell because of X, Y, Z. That's a legit reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't seem motivated to me. But I'll tell you, I've had deals like that where they don't seem motivated, and I keep asking them other questions. Like one really important question I ask is, "Hey, Mr. Seller, why don't you just list this property with a realtor?" Oh, because it needs too much work. I'm like, okay, that's a motivation there, right? I mean, did you ask him that at all?
So I asked him what was the condition of the property. Has he ever rented it out? He said he rented it out 6 months ago for like $1,000 a month. He left all the belongings that were in that property in there from the last person. I said, "Are they in there now?" He said, "Yes." I said, "Okay. Are you looking to like remodel or do anything with the home? Are you looking to uh, do something with the home?" He said, "No, not really. It's just there to be there." So I was like, "Okay, are you interested in selling your home?" So I was so confused. So then he said, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, so tell me a little bit about it, things like that." And then we just went from there, and we are here now.
So did you ask him why he wasn't listing with a realtor?
No, I didn't ask him why he didn't list for
You should
realtor
ask
because
him that. It's a very important question to ask.
mhm.
We definitely have that for Wholesaling.com. It's always important because I got to sniff some more motivation out from this guy. If I don't have it, what's the point? And so, and you didn't meet him at the property then, right?
I meet him tomorrow.
How far is this of a drive for you?
30 minutes without traffic, 45 with.
So honestly, man, you just are you going to condition him or have you conditioned him?
Yeah, I've conditioned him saying like I'm very interested. I don't want to be the person. I don't want to be that person you say, okay, you're going to be the first call and this project is out of my lead, making it seem like I'm going to be the investor in the property. So he's saying, okay, we'll still be able to view it tomorrow, and he'll give me a time. He lives about an hour away from the property as well,
Okay.
so he's a good distance. So if he comes, I feel like that's a sense
But
of
Reggie,
motivation. Yes.
did you ask him if he's ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property tomorrow?
Yes, I did. Yesterday I said
He said yes.
if I bring the yes, I said if I bring the paperwork, will you be ready to sign? He said yes. And then today he came up with the sentimental value and everything like that.
And so that's fine.
Mm,
The reason how I was going to sentimental value, and I sound like a jerk when I say it, but it's the honest truth, is how much do I pay for sentimental value?
yeah.
I
His
didn't grow
asking
up here.
price.
My kid wasn't here. Like
Mm,
I didn't do any of this. Unfortunately, sentimental value is things for you, but for every other human being, sorry, I think we're close to 8 billion. For 8 billion other people, it means nothing. So unfortunately, it might mean something to you, but for what the market deems it to be and what it's actually worth, it doesn't change it.
mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, you do want to sell it. Really, you can sell it to me. I don't care who you sell it to. Nobody who buys it's really going to buy it for the sentimental value.
Yeah,
Maybe your grandma, but like, does she want to buy this house? And you go from there,
exactly.
build some rapport. But like, I just kind of brushed that off. Like, sorry, I
That
can't pay
was
for sentimental value.
that's what I was gonna do on the viewing. I was gonna talk to him like, hey, prices are going down, interest rates are going up. If you wait too long, because the house is already been sitting for 6 months. He told me it's been sitting for 6 months since the last person that was in there renting it out. So I mean, I said, have you done anything to it? Have you even been inside? He says he's been there once or twice in the past 6 months.
Reggie, I'm seeing one underlying problem with you on this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And this is between you and me. Okay.
All right,
I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. You're
ready.
sounding way too eager to buy this house. You are sounding like some of my competition that I absolutely destroy. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And let me explain why. When you are super eager, like, all right, do you have dogs? Do you like dogs?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I don't have any
All
right now,
right.
but yes.
What do you do if a dog lets out and he's running around the street and he's going crazy? Do you run after him? What do you do when you run after a dog that's wild outside?
What do I do if I run after one?
So, like, have you ever? All right. So, if I have a dog, he's my
Mhm.
dog, and he gets outside and he starts running around the street, going crazy, playing around. That's not good, right? It's dangerous. If I
Yes.
run after him,
Mhm.
he or she's going to think it's a game and start running away, right?
Exactly. Yes.
If I run away from the dog, they're going to come chase me
Mhm.
because, oh, he doesn't. want to run after me. I want to run after him instead. It's a very fine line, right? And this works for a lot of things in life. But what I could tell you is if you act a lot nonchalant with it, and so first thing you said that caught my eye, which I never like hearing, is I'm really interested in buying your property. I don't ever say that. I always want my seller selling to me. For example, what I always say is, hey, I'd like to go see it. We're interested in buying properties in the area. But here's the thing, Mr. Seller. If you don't want to sell me this house, that's fine. I'll buy another house like this. I'm interested in buying properties. I'm not interested just in yours, though. So, hey, if I go there, if it works, it works. This is what I can buy this for. If it doesn't work, hey, prices are going down, Mr. Seller. I can go buy any house on the block for this price. But if you don't want to sell it, and if you want to sell it for this high price, I'm just going to buy a house down the street in a month for even cheaper. The key thing is you're saying the right things. You just got to shift it a little. So you're saying you're interested in buying their house. You're really interested. If you shift that language to, like, this is a slight thing. It's going to change everything, though. Hey, I'm really interested in buying houses in the area, not just yours. Because now he's going to think, oh my God, Reggie doesn't, this offer, I can't play him around. I can't play him for a fool, because if I say no to his offer, he can just go and buy another house. And I want to get rid of this thing. And if he's serious about selling it, he'd start selling to you. And that's how you get really good deals. And so the last part here is, and the part I'm hearing from you, is you're trying to convince the seller to go with you. And when you're acting like the cool guy, like, I really don't have to buy this house. Like, I can go buy a million other houses. And yes, the real estate is going down, so you can buy any other house you want. Then you have the seller selling to you. When you were like, you should go with me, you should go with it, it ain't going to work. You're sounding like a salesman. And nobody likes a salesman or a saleswoman. Nobody likes when you're getting sold to. Hey, me and my partner, we can buy at this price. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, no big deal. I can buy other houses. I'm selling to them by saying that, but I do it in a way that doesn't sound salesy. And it's just the little tiny thing that an expert and someone that's just average at wholesaling does that changes everything. And so I think you can elevate your game tomorrow by just kind of switching it up. And you actually can still say this, go to the house, act like the property needs a little more work than it really needs. And then you can start kind of pushing a little away from it. I can get other ones for better prices because it needs.
Yeah, that was my plan to, like you just explained to me. My plan was to do it in front of him. Seeing facial expressions, seeing us eye to eye. I get what you mean when I say I sound like I'm in dire need of this property. I understand that 100%, and I will, of course,
You just
take
got
this
to change the
information.
language like this much. It's going to change everything. Because you just got to change how you say it 2%, and it's going to give you 50% more result. Like, you're probably 50% more likely to get a deal by just doing that.
Okay. Yeah.
And so you can still save it. That's why I'm telling you, like, honestly, like, there's no point in me saying this if, like, there's no point. But if you kind of change up your language and you see the seller like, ooh, this house looks a little, I know my guy Zach right here, my partner, he's not going to go for that price with this much work. I remember he said he can buy another house like this for $200 any day because real estate's going down. So, we want to buy properties, but like not the wrong price. And we can't pay sentimental value, right, Mr. Seller? And so, Mr. Seller, I talked to you. Like, I don't waste your time or my time. He's around 150,000 on this. Does that work? And you just have a conversation from there.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. That's his actual asking price too. So
really?
he's like, he's pretty good under the market as well for two houses, on one lot.
Oh yeah, it's this 2-house lot thing. I think I'm talking about. Okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, the was it ADU? So and then we'll finish on what you're saying, and I got a second question.
I remember talking to you. This sounded like a great deal, dude.
Yeah, it is.
What I can tell you is you just got to be a little more chillax on this. Dude, you're excited. And I can tell you this right now. I have the same level of excitement and want to get a deal as you when I go on appointments. When I was a beginner and when I'm training my guys even now, I have the same level of excitement. The problem is I kind of hide it, because I know if I hide it, I'm actually more likely to get the deal. And that's what you got to do. That excitement's always going to be there. But you just can't be so eager to it or you're not going to do well. Bro, if you ever go to a car dealership and you act really excited to see a car, that's when you know you get destroyed.
Oh yeah, in person I'm a very nonchalant person. Like I
Well,
have no
with the way
facial
you're talking to
expression.
the seller, you just got to change it a little more.
Yeah,
So what I've
exactly.
heard is different than what you're saying. So um,
Mhm.
you just got to change up the language a little more. Nothing crazy, dude.
Mhm.
Um, if you're going on the appointment tomorrow, do you have a cash buyer already for a potential deal?
Okay, so I have this yes, I do have a cash buyer. He hasn't told me a price or an offer yet because he
That's fine.
needs the pictures and all that, but I do have a couple of other people in the pipeline as well.
Good.
I think it's a broker as well. That's one, but I have a set cash buyer person individual that
So
may be
you
interested.
have a name, which is good. So don't say the name
Yes.
on here. I don't want anyone stealing your deals.
Okay.
But he might ask you what your buyer's name is. Like this is rare stuff,
Mhm.
but let's have a name, Joe, right? Let's just call him Joe for now, or Sarah. All right.
Well, he thinks I'm the buyer though. That's the thing.
The cash buyer thinks you're the buyer.
Oh, sorry. No, I'm thinking about the seller. Sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
okay,
sorry,
okay. No, I'm
sorry.
talking about when you're talking to the seller.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You and your cash buyer are together on the deal, right?
Yes.
On the transaction, you lock it up, you assign it, but technically you're still partners on the deal, right?
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
right.
I get it.
You're
I get it.
technically sharing a profit with the seller on the deal. So you guys
Mhm.
are theoretically partners on this. So you have to get his permission to close on the property, correct?
Yes.
So if I'm looking at the house and I'm saying, you know, I don't know if Joe's going to go for this price on this. He's my partner. Sometimes you do some stuff like, hey, 150 is where I'm at. Can you do 175? I don't know about 175.
And this is to the buyer, correct?
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
Joe's going to pull my leg here. He told me not to go above 150.
Mhm.
But honestly, I don't want to go see 4 other houses. I will if I have to, but can we just meet in the middle and we'll do it? Joe's gonna absolutely kill me for this, but like if we do it now, it'll be okay. And you better do it
Mhm.
now before he changes his mind. And I change my mind. And then go from there, get the deal done, right? But like sometimes you can use that partner to get the deal locked up for a good price too. So I'd still look into that. But I think you have everything kind of together on this one, right? I think you just change your language up a little more, and I think you'll easily get the deal done. Because I'm trying to shift you in one day to go from average to above average,
Oh yeah, it's
and it's that quick
possible.
1 to 2%.
Mhm. Very
So start
possible.
doing that, man.
Will do. And then my second question was so comping this property, I'm not even gonna lie. I took
Bro,
like
we've
a
already talked
whole
about this, man, right?
did we?
Oh yeah. 2 properties, we did the cash flow comps and all this, right?
Yes. Okay, I
Two
remember the
lots.
cash flow, but then did we talk about comping the back property? The two story? Because I remember the front one.
Reggie,
And
let
then
me
the
ask you a
cash flow.
question, okay?
Okay.
How many comps have you found of 2 properties on one lot?
Not many at all.
So
Not
like comps is short for comparables. And if we don't
mhm,
have any comparables, we're gonna have to go after cash flow. If we're gonna sell
mhm.
to a landlord buyer, we got to care about cash flow.
Okay. And then the cash flow for both could be around 16 to 1800.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, I know this is a decent deal.
Mhm.
So you're gonna have to take my advice on here. Lock it up for the lowest you can, and then bring it
Okay.
to a buyer and see what they say. And you're gonna
Got it.
explain this to the seller, Mr. Seller. This is a very unusual property. Not many properties are two houses on one lot. So obviously, I need to talk to my buyer on this with everything and really look at the properties. But we can pretty much do this price. And if you have to get out of it or get a reduction, you have to explain to them why. And your cash buyer is going to have a reasoning why. And you're good to go from there.
Got it. Understand. And then last question. So with the 1% rule on the cash flow, let's just say rents were 1700 each for both properties. Do you add that together? So like 170K plus 170K is the cash flow rate for the whole lot, or do you say 170 for the whole lot?
If there's 2 properties I can rent for 1,700 each, it's 3,400 together, right?
Yes.
So you do bring it to the cash buyer and say, I think this can rent out for 3,400 bucks for both properties together.
Okay. And then that would be my 1% pretty much.
Yeah, cut 200 bucks in rent for each one, just to be
Mhm.
safe, and you'd be good to go.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
they're 3,000 a month just to be safe. Because the cash flow comps work really well in this,
Mhm.
but ultimately comes out into the cash buyer.
I understand. Yeah, I think that's all my questions. I'll be here. I think we're doing it at 12 o'clock. So the next, I'll probably not be Monday, but Tuesday, I'll be in the live. So let you know how it goes, or I'll be in the group posting it, see how it went. And
All right.
thank you, Zach.
I'm
Greatly
rooting for you,
appreciate
bro.
everything. Thank you.
You
Have
got
a good
this.
one.
Be confident. All right. Have a great one.
Mhm.
Boom. Awesome. Good for him. Love seeing that. Next here we got Luke.
Hey, Zach, what's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Every day above ground is an amazing day.
All right, yeah. So I had a question. So I have a seller. He wants to sell his house and he wants to get the property moved off the lot. And so I was wondering if should I even try to get it under contract, or because of like it's gonna cost probably 15 to 20,000 just to move it off the lot.
Is it a mobile home?
No, it's on like pair beams. So like,
Does he own the lot?
yes,
Why is he trying to move it?
I don't know where he wants to move it, but he wants the property off that lot.
Why?
I'm not too sure. I talked to him today, and he just said he wanted it moved off the lot. He was
You
tired
gotta
of.
ask more questions, man. Like this is so we go MCTP talking to sellers. M's
Yeah.
the most important one, motivation. Why
Yeah.
is he looking to do this? Is there termites on the property, right? Like, does he want to build an insane, crazy mansion on? Like, we got to figure it out.
Well, like his regular house is right beside this one.
Okay.
And so what I was thinking, he just wanted to move it just because he was tired of it being there. And I just thought that was his motivation.
Luke, what's you're assuming things now, right?
Yeah.
What's the first three letters of assume? You can't do it, man, right? Like when
Yeah.
you assume things, you can't read somebody's mind, bro. I'm not saying that's you, but like I never assume anything in this business, especially with people, because people are crazy. I'm
Yeah.
crazy, you're crazy, we're all crazy. You
Yeah.
can't guess what people's motivations are. Every single person has their own motivations, thinkings, and the way they think about life. So one guy's motivation to sell a property is not, you can't assume it, you have to ask.
Okay.
And because when you close the deal, you're going to have to bring motivation in to close it to get the best price.
Yeah.
So you have to ask and really figure out why. And if the lot isn't included, I don't want to wholesale it, because mobile homes theoretically are vehicles, and I'm not here to wholesale vehicles. I'm here to wholesale real estate, and every piece of real estate, the land is owned underneath it, basically. So
Okay.
if
Yeah.
the land isn't included, I don't want it.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too. Because like I said, just to move it was probably going to be like 20,000, something like that. So,
I mean, no, like here's the thing, we can't even. So we get paid in wholesaling real estate with a title company, right?
yeah.
And a title company is only going to deal with a property where there's actual real like land involved.
Okay.
And so I can't even get paid on a mobile home like that. So
Okay. Yeah.
you're gonna have to have land on it.
Yeah.
So that's the problem.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well,
That's why I'm going to deal with properties that have land on it.
yeah. Well, that answers my question then. Thank you.
Appreciate it. You're going after mobile homes, dude. There's a lot of money in them when the lot's owned, which you have the right guy here.
Yeah.
Why does he want to move it? We got to figure out. That's really weird because he's losing 20 grand by doing that. Most people don't want to lose 20 grand by doing that.
Yeah.
So that's confusing me.
Yeah. And I don't know. I scheduled to go look at it tomorrow, so I'm probably I might try to ask him about that, like why he's really wanting to move it off that lot. Or
Let me ask you a question to ask him, because this is recorded on YouTube, so you can like replay it.
yeah.
Hey, Mr. Sell, before I go out there, I don't waste your time or my time. Like, why are you looking to move this? Like, is there this crazy termite structural damage I just don't know about? Is this why you're looking to do it? The reason why you ask that is you're going to put him on the defensive. Now he has to prove to you why he has no termites or damage to the property. Oh, no, I'm just looking to move it because of X, Y, and Z. You get the real motivation really fast with them.
Okay. Well, yeah.
That's what I've always found.
Well, thank you.
All right. Have a good one, Luke.
You too.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Oh. Who's next here? Chantel.
Hi.
How are you? Long time no see.
Really? Oh, I'm
It's been
working.
a while. I remember you talked to Rick last time.
Oh, yes, I
2 or
did.
3 months ago, though, about probates, right?
No, I know. I've been gathering new leads. I started fresh.
All right, awesome. What's up? How can I help you out?
Okay, so I'm under contract with a seller. Both her and I are out of state from the subject property. Where and how do I go about getting lockbox and putting it on there? Because I have cash buyers calling me left and right, and she's too far and I'm out of state. So
Okay. Well, you've been busy, which is good. I'm glad you're actually taking action. So you have no excuse. You're actually doing deals. So hey, shout out to you. So I'm not upset not hopping on these things because you're doing deals. So I appreciate that. So what state is she in, and what state are you in, and what state is this property in?
I'm in North Carolina. The property is in Ohio. She's in Ohio, but she's an hour away. So it's a little inconvenient for her to drive to open the door every time a cash buyer needs to go there.
Got it. So I'm not going to ask you where the property's at because I don't want to bring it to thousands of people. Okay, we're not going to talk about that. So she's an hour away. All right. So the best thing I can tell you is I want you to find somebody on the whatever metro areas near their gigs or jobs group. Avoid every real estate group like the plague, okay? Because you don't want someone trying to steal your deal. I would probably hire somebody for 50 to 60 bucks to take 50 pictures of the property and to put a lockbox in the house. So they can do 2 for 1.
Oh, okay, because I had pictures and videos. She sent me those, but the cash buyers that want to go in person, it's like, okay, I need to know how to, do this lockbox thing.
Okay, we just give them 50 bucks to do the lockbox then. 20 bucks to lockbox, 30 bucks to put it on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that'll work out.
Other than that, I have 5 deals under contract, and I have analysis paralysis like crazy. It's bittersweet because when I have that many deals locked up, I just stare at my laptop like, oh.
How many deals you got locked up?
5.
Oh,
Yeah, and so my brain is
know,
shut now.
there's
It's a lot.
people begging to have the problem you have right now. You know that.
I know, but it is bittersweet because you get excited about getting a deal, and then when you get it, the real anxiety starts once the contract gets signed because you got to get the cash buyer to get paid. So that's the most important part of the whole deal process. So it's like, oh, I need to close on all of them. But that's 5 cash buys you have to find, and they're all in different markets.
Yeah, there's 2 stresses, right? There's stress of having no deals and the stress of having too many deals. They're both the same equal stress, but I'd rather have one stress over the other. So let's help you out with this. So you have 5. How many of these deals are you struggling to sell right now?
Well, 2.
Okay.
And one of them, it was a 2 for 1 deal. I got 2 properties from one seller. So he wanted the same price for both. But one is brand new everything, and the other one have like bullet holes all over the place. So I'm going to have to let him know I can't, of course, he can't get the same price for both.
I mean, I don't think it's the best thing to do, but just lock them both up and then bring a buyer through and explain why you can't be at this price for the other one. Because if he agreed for 70 on each one or whatever price on each one, right? Get the nice one locked up first, and then because he agreed to 70 on that one, we didn't agree on the both one. So, and then you can kind of negotiate on the second one.
I am going to tell him we're going to negotiate the price, but we'll still close on the same day. He just have to bring that price down.
Yeah.
And
there's a bullet hole fee, right?
Yeah.
I went to a property once I made a huge profit on. I walked in and the guy cleaned up it was a bad tenant. He cleaned up the property as well as he could. I pop up the attic for a second, shell case drops. I get $30,000 reduction. He didn't want to tell me there was a shooting happened on the property.
30,000.
I picked that up on my 9mm.
Shell casing.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, yep, 9mm right here. And he's like, oh shoot. I got $30,000 reduction. He acted like he didn't want to tell me. I'm like, I can look up police reports, right? But like you get reductions for it, right? Like that doesn't look good at all when I bring a tenant in. And so it's actually a really valid excuse, and people understand that. So yeah, use that as a big excuse.
Yes. And then I have one in Georgia. It's really, really bad. And I got it like extremely low, but it's so bad nobody wants it. And the price is so cheap, but when they see it, they're like, ew.
This is in the middle of Georgia?
It's in the part that everybody wants.
Yeah. So in that part of Georgia, right? Like you got the Section 8 buyers are going to be your best ones because there's one that government check every single month, and they don't really want to deal with the annoyance of all this. Those are going to be your best ones. So you're going to have to figure out where the Section 8 buyers are. And the best way to figure that out is through probably evictions. The eviction list is going to be the best way to find buyers for those type of properties. And then the second one is just cold calling the for rents on properties that are renting below $750 a month.
Right.
$800 a month in that area, maybe. I don't know what the rents are going to be for that area specifically, but the cheapest rents, filter out by there and just call those owners.
Yes. And I do have a lot of buyers, but I notice a lot of buyers prefer cosmetic and turnkey, which doesn't work well for me because I get my leads from code enforcement. So a lot of buyers, surprisingly, they really don't like heavy work, which sucks because I get it extremely low. So if for example, assigning it to a cash buyer for $10K, then they'll go to the house and say, "Oh, that's a lot of work." But I'm like, it's for $10K. What do you expect? So that's where I am. I need more heavy repair type of cash buyers, gut job type of guys.
I used to buy a lot of rentals in really like high crime areas, and I've had 3 renovations got broken into. And I'm like, oh, I'm never doing heavy renovations on my rentals in those areas. I get it. But those are like really high crime areas, like paint equipment, I was like, oh, it's a big headache. So I get it. But at a certain price, it works for anybody.
Not all of them are in high areas, but if a cash buyer sees pics and it's a completely gutted down to the studs, I thought that was a good thing because you get to start fresh. But when they see just the shell, they're like, oh no, that's too much work for me. So I think I need gut job type of cash buyers.
Are you ready for a gut job cash buyer? Ready for one?
Yeah.
All you got to do is go to the this is a harder one, but because you have extraordinary circumstances, you might have to resort to realtors in Georgia. And the realtors that are buyers agents for these rough houses, you know what I'm talking about. So I like to go on realtor.com or Zillow.com and look at solds under 40 grand or 30 grand in the past month and cold call the buyer agents for them. Because they just had that person buy for $20K.
Right.
You got to give them like a $3,000 or $4,000 to bring the buyer through, but you're still going to make an assignment on it.
Right.
And so like those are tough properties. Like those are always tough. But most likely if a realtor has found a couple buyers like that, they're looking to buy in that, I just got to have the realtor pay them and the realtor can convince them to go do it.
And speaking of the area, one of my cash buyers went there and someone ran up on him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But okay, I have 5. I mean, I don't plan on letting it go. I'm still gonna reduce it. I don't care what I make. It get to a point sometimes it'll be just one of those deals where you don't even care to make 10K no more. You're like, you know what? I don't care if I make 4. Just go. I just want it to close.
Yeah, it's a rough one. There's a couple areas, not where I live, but like 2 hours away from me where I looked at some deals. It gets sketchy. So yeah, it ain't fun. That St. Louis and certain areas like Los Angeles are like that, and then Chicago, but like very rare. Like there's 4 or 5 markets that's the case. So it's tough. But Section 8 is probably gonna be your best friend in realtors, honestly.
Oh yeah, Section 8. I'm very familiar with that website because I do go there to find my buyers, especially if they're good buy and hold.
Yeah, and usually, because properties are so cheap that they're not paying somebody to go like list the property or do like they can't afford it. So you're speaking right to the owner, which is actually really good.
Yep.
So that's the way I'd probably do that. What about the other deals?
Oh, the other deals are good. I know one I'm JVing, helping someone find a cash buyer, and I found him a cash buyer in 20 minutes. So that was pretty cool. That's like
How much are you making on that?
free money, but it wasn't my deal. I'm helping somebody. I'm helping two people actually. So that's two deals where I'm helping somebody, and three I have on my own.
Are you getting paid on those?
Of, am I getting paid? Of
Good.
course.
How much are you getting paid on those JV deals?
50-50.
Good.
Of course.
Good. Keep it up. I'm telling you. Like, for example, I'm watching this, like if someone wants to do a deal with you, how would they reach out to you?
Oh, Facebook,
Like,
email.
see the name right there. Boom.
Yes. Request me on Facebook, shoot me a message, I respond. And I'm good with finding cash buyers. I just need more gut job ones.
All right. I like it. You see, going on these things, you get people hopping on. So it's working. So keep it up. That's awesome. Yeah, that's probably going to be the best way. And as somebody that does a ton of JV deals and you give me random markets, I figure out pretty fast what type of properties they are and how to find a cash buyers. Because really what I found is cash buyers either go in two or three type of, buckets. You got the guy that's trying to flip properties and you got the guy or gal that's trying to rent properties out. And you got the Section 8 people, which are different, right? And each one's got their own little thing, The people that flip are pretty easy for me to find. They want nicer houses, right? And then you got the rentals. And then those are a whole different ball of wax because they just want different things. And, there's a lot of customer service in it, right? Like, I don't think people talk about that. You really got to wine and dine these people out. But it's worth it.
Right. It's worth it. As long as they don't want turnkey ready. I can't align with the turnkey ready buyers because I'm queen code enforcement all day. And I request the worst of the worst. I specifically ask for structural damage, which I'm trying to change it because of the buyer situation. So now instead of always asking for structural violations, I'll go for the little interior maintenance, little plumbing issue, so it won't be as bad. Because boy, do I get what I asked for.
Hey, like that's the attitude you need, though. I love it when someone says no to me. I'm like, oh, you don't understand. You're not saying no to me. You're literally causing so much pain for yourself. You don't even know. Because I'm gonna be here next week and the week after until I get this list. It works.
Oh, yeah, I get the list. The list is no problem at all. Never a problem getting the list. But I request structural violations. So when they send it to me, it's houses that if you light a match, it'll probably fall apart. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the good news is I can offer 5K all day on all of them. But now, looking for buyers who are telling me they want medium to light repairs, turnkey ready. And here it is. I have all these gut job falling apart houses. That's why I need to change my some of my buyers. I need heavy repair.
Yeah.
The properties I'm locking up, it's bad structural violations. And I just became comfortable with fire damages. And I was always afraid of those. Now, the reason why I like fire damages is because the insurance people give them a quote, which means I don't have to guesstimate the repair cost. I love that. It makes my life so much easier.
Yeah.
I always ask them, oh, did the insurance, I don't care about the insurance money. Of course, they could keep it. But what did they say the repair cost would be? And boom, I don't have to guess. There you have it. And it's easy.
Yeah. You get people, they literally get 40-year degrees on actuarial science to figure out repair costs. So you don't have to. It's great.
Right.
Tell everybody that.
I like when people tell me, oh, I'm waiting for the insurance. I love it.
But yeah, you're doing well. I like it. So reach out to you. I would probably do those in the cash buyers and you keep going after it, right? The one thing I could tell you is, this probably from doing some deals, but like he can't get a discount on the deal, right? You can't get a good deal unless there's a problem with the property, right? So it's like the buyers that want turnkey, it's like if I go to seller that has a really nice house, they're not wanting to go to sell it for 70 cents on the dollar. It just doesn't work like that.
Exactly. And that's what's killing me. They're like, oh, turnkey ready, but we need it to be under 50K. And I'm like, what?
Go on the MLS, right? It's right there. Buy it for full retail. That's what I tell them. They're like, oh, okay, I'll just buy yours then.
Yeah, but I've gotten a lot better with finding cash buyers. I love it. And then my favorite Secretary of State, the best one. Look up those corporates, and I'm talking about from the seller side and the buyer side, because a lot of people skip over corporate owned. But based on my experience, when I send out postcard campaigns, corporate calls back. They call me back faster than the individual owners.
Oh, yeah.
So look those up. And then with the cash buyers, instead of skip tracing a regular person, I like to go after the corporate owned, because it's like, I guess, more legit. I don't know if that's the right terminology.
Yeah.
So what I'll do, I'll go to Secretary of State in 2.5 seconds and go from there.
Nice.
And that's it.
Awesome. Well, keep it up, Chantel. Let me know when those JV deals close. Love to talk to you about it. Love to see the proof. And post those JV deals in the Facebook group, because guess what happens? You prove to people that you're actually doing it, they're going to want to JV with you even more.
Yep.
And there's 81,000 stinking people in that Facebook group. So there's some deals on there. They got your money. They got your deals right now. They got your money. So
no problem.
Keep it up.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a great one. Keep it up.
So,
guys, there's people out here thriving in 2023. There's people thriving right now in wholesaling real estate because they have fuel in their business, right? So Chantel's fuel right here, she even shared it with you guys because she doesn't even care. Code violations. That is what is the gas she is putting in her car to get it revving. And it's revving hard, okay? And so she did a shift from probates to code violations. Talked to her a couple months ago. She was focused on probates. Here's the one thing I've always figured out pretty fast. You just test things out, okay? Okay, test this list. One of these lists going to hit. And then you find out this list is working. Go hard in the paint on those lists. It changes everything, guys, right? Justin.
What's going on, man?
Yo, what is up?
What's up, man? So I brought your course the other day. Nah, just kidding. So I went on that house visit. I don't know if you remember, here in my market. I got it off the code violations. I met with the owner. Everything went great. I built a great rapport. Very nice guy. I'm going tomorrow again to make him that offer. He insists that I see his first floor. It's a multi-unit duplex. But I'm still like, I don't know, like the ARV is around 400K. You said I should lock it for under 300. Wholesalers in my area say I should lock it for under 200. So now I'm like, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to lock it up for too high.
Bro, how about you lock it up for the lowest you possibly can?
He recently denied somebody for 275.
And?
Wouldn't I have to, be above that number?
Okay. So why don't you talk to some cash buyers and see what price they're at? And you said they're all under 200?
Well, I spoke to a wholesaler.
Yeah. I remember telling you that that's trash.
Yeah.
And what did I specifically say? Because I remember looking at the property.
Yeah, you said to get it under 300K.
Okay. This is in
Providence, right?
Northeast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Those numbers still work.
What happened?
I remember it.
Okay, yeah. So
under
300.
Right? Wink, wink.
What happened?
It's on the island, right?
Yes, sir.
I remember that one. All right, yeah, you're good to go. Over 300, you're fine.
You sure? Because I don't want to get it on because 295 with the rapport I made with this guy, he wants 350, but just because it's me,
Get it under 300. I think that's the best you're gonna do.
You think so?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I mean, what's the worst case scenario?
You
lock it up and then you have to get out of it.
Yeah, I just don't want to like waste this guy's time or my time.
I mean, unfortunately, he's here to give you a price. So
Nah, you're right. You're right. So like the repairs, I'm not, the best when it comes to repairs. I know his roof needs to be, rechanged. That's probably around like 10. He needs like some like not mold. What do you call it? Like on the ceiling, some ceiling repair. Like it's just
a
a new
leak,
paint.
mold.
Yeah, probably mold. Yeah, a couple mold spots. And then, the outside, he's been getting like codes for, I guess the paint is chipping. So he needs a new like paint job on the outside of the house. So repairs is probably like 25K, right? 30, I could say. On the
I have
safe
to
side.
go there to see it, dude.
Oh, man.
Let's call it 25, 25K. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really change much, right? You're going to have to get locked up for the lowest he'll possibly take. So does your repairs going to mean anything to him? Probably not. So he's stuck on a certain price. You're overthinking this, man.
Well, it's because I have to, then present this to the cash buyer and they're going to ask me all these questions.
The cash buyer's not going to care what your they're not going to care what your renovations are because you're not renovating it. They're going to care what their renovation costs are on it. They're going to run their own repair costs. It's going to be separate than yours.
Oh, okay.
Right? But they're going to do their own. They don't care about what you think repair costs are. They're
So
going
what
to do
if
it themselves by
buyer-
looking at the pictures of the property and seeing it in person.
Got you. Okay.
Every
So-
cash buyer's repair costs have always been different. Every time. I've had one guy, same property, one guy thought it was 50, one guy thought it was 40, one guy thought it was 70, one guy was like, oh, I'll just do it for 10 or 15. They all different prices though too. Every buyer has a different motivation and a little different way they do things. One guy will hire his own team, one guy will do it himself, right? Like all over the board, man. The one thing I can control though, I can't control that, but I can control what price I get under contract for. So I think that's the thing you should be focusing on.
Okay. Got you. And I had told you he wants to live in the duplex. But like I don't know if this is possible, but
Wait, you didn't tell me that. He wants to live in the duplex?
well, he wants to be a renter, yeah, like after
He wants to rent the property that he's selling.
Yeah, it's because he's lived there for years. His kids grew up there. He bought the house with his wife that passed. So yeah. He wants to.
You did not tell me that, man. That was a no-go. No.
That's a no-go?
That's a no-go.
Why?
What if I renovate the property? I don't want you living here. What if I try to flip it and resell it on the market?
Oh, then that's the buyer's. Well, he doesn't. All right, so okay.
Your buyer pool goes from like 15 to like 4, because you got to find somebody that wants to buy it and then rent it out to the guy. And that pool goes really small.
I probably used my words wrong. He would like to, if he gets the right deal, if he gets the right deal, he will leave, I guess, whatever. But
240, you can live there. 240, all right, Do you want this or do you want that? All right, like you got to pick it. Do you want a good price and not live there, or do you want a bad price for you but you live there?
Okay.
He can't have everything he wants, right?
That's true.
Like, what are you going to do when he puts on the MLS and says the person has to rent it out to me? It's never a good case. I've had so many of these type of sellers who be like, I'm going to sell it, but you're going to rent it out to me and I can live in it. I never do that. That's never a good idea, because I like to first vet all of my sellers like crazy, and I am militant with my tenants, and also I raise the rents every single year, pretty much, if the market deems it to be. I have somewhere I keep it the same, but like, dude, no. It's a recipe for disaster, bro.
Dang, I was like thinking.
Your buyers don't want that, man.
Dang, they don't want that. Oh, okay. Oh man. Because I was gonna try to not try. I don't know if this was even possible. Like, say if I was to get it sold, he got it to me at a discount. Is if we got a cash buyer, and like he was to rent there, if he can get like smaller rent compared to the others, because it's registered as a.
Now he wants smaller rent.
Well, they don't want. Well, I was thinking like maybe I can work with him. You know, he's
Homie, sell it
renter.
to me for 200, and we can start talking these type of numbers, bro. Right? He wants the most of the house. He wants special rent, and this ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna
Okay.
work, dude. Like, I'm looking to buy it cash. What I do with the property is up to me when I buy it.
Gotcha. All right. Okay, because I was trying to
I
like.
don't know what I'm gonna do. I might want to buy it. I might want to rent it out. I might want to flip it. I don't know.
Gotcha. Okay. And he has a lot of code violations and he has a high mortgage. So like if I mention that to him, you think he'd like, you know, be like, "Oh, okay."
I don't think that's gonna do anything.
That's not gonna do nothing. Okay.
Did he tell you his code violations?
That we're gonna go when I go tomorrow. He's gonna show me, I guess, the paper, the statement.
Yeah, that means there's problems with the property, which there's gonna be some renovations done to it. So this is gonna make him living a lot harder.
Oh man. Well, it's not like a for sure thing he wants to stay there. I was just thinking, like, if we can get him, like, he did say he wants to be a renter, but it's not
At the
you know,
right price, we can do it. At
okay.
the wrong price, we can't.
But I also want to see, like, if he does rent there, if he can get a smaller rent price.
No,
Like, if we get no, okay,
no.
got you,
You gotta treat him like a regular tenant. He doesn't get anything special.
got you. Okay,
The eyes of the law have no care at all. He's a tenant. He's not a tenant with special privileges.
got it. He's just a regular guy, regular.
Regular guy. Yeah, I mean, if he sells it for 200, maybe we can work something out.
Yeah,
Right.
No, he's not doing that.
All right. Well, I ain't gonna do the landlord thing with you, okay?
Yeah,
Boom.
that's fair.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. So like, I'm going tomorrow. Oh man, it's because, damn, how should I present this to him? Like, you know,
I'm looking to buy your property for cash.
no, he knows that. It's just that because he's like really wants this 350, like because that realtor really rizzed him up and said you can get 350 easily. This house is a lot of equity in this house. You'd be stupid if you sold it.
That realtor got no riz. Dude,
Oh,
I'm telling you right now. You list with the realtor if you want the most for it. Let him know that. If he says no, this is the price I can be at. You got to make it simple, dude. Don't complicate this.
God, okay, let's do it with a realtor if that's what you want. Okay,
That's it. Don't be scared of that.
got you. Okay.
I don't walk around my life being scared of things. Don't be scared if somebody goes to the realtor.
And how's like so if he was to say listed with a realtor, wouldn't he have to like pay fees as well? So he won't be getting technically
he knows that
350.
though. Keep it
Oh,
simple, dude. Just know if you go to the realtor, you're gonna have to pay your fees though. 6% closing costs, all these things. And most likely what realtors usually do is they tell you 350 and then they bring it down to 340, 330, 320, 300. Now you're paying 6% on 300. Now you're paying, 2 or 3% closing costs. And then you got to market with the interest rates going up. You can do whatever you want. Maybe get 350, maybe get 280. We don't know.
all right. Okay. Got it. All right.
Justin,
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you one last time. I've asked you 3 times. Can you please pay 25 cents to get a battery for the smoke detector?
Yeah. I know. Oh my God. I just been working. I haven't been really home, but I got to do that. Yes. You told me in the
You have
last.
the battery?
I don't.
Go
But
get
I
the
have
battery.
plenty at my job, so I just need to just grab them
The
up.
battery.
Yeah. They all need to be replaced.
Okay.
I got you.
Because Justin, next time you hop on, got a question, I might say, you know what? I might need a battery for that. Answer, okay, bro?
Got you. I will. I remember.
We'll see. I remember. So
Word. I got one more question though. Okay, so I want to get into the whole, helping people like JV their deal, and on these Facebook groups, I look in the comments section, and you have all these. I don't know if they're like bots or like scammers, they just say I have a buyer's list, but like they're all like from the same place, from the same area. I'm like, bro,
Can you report those comments when you see them?
yeah, I think I see them in like your groups too.
Oh, you're talking about my group or other people's groups?
Your group, other people's groups. They just
Usually
say,
when those are posted in our group, they stay on for like 2 hours and then they get popped off and then they get blocked instantly.
oh, okay, so you're like
By the end
aware.
of the day, they all get cleared out. Because with 81,000 people in a Facebook group, there's going to be some scammers in there. And they usually get all kicked out at the end of the day. So don't do that. That's stupid. That's almost as stupid as not changing your smoke detector battery.
Chill on me, man.
I ain't chilling on you, man. I got to roast you till you do it.
I got you for the next time for sure.
All right.
All right, but I think that was it. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Get a battery. All right. Sorry for the low-key bowling on the battery, but I think y'all can understand that I'm not here to listen to. One thing I'll tell you is this is not like a personal pet peeve of mine, but if you're talking to a cash buyer and you want to sound stinking professional, do you think the beeping on the smoke alarm is going to help you or hurt you when it comes to acting professional and having a seller think you're serious? That's number one. Number two, it's annoying. How do you live like that? Who can live like that? Who can live like that? I had one night I remember when I was like 12 years old. Rick, my dad, we didn't have a battery. So it was like, what? I think the smoke alarm went out at like 3 a.m. And obviously Home Depot didn't open until like 7 or 8. It was one of the longest nights of my life because it was in my room. Beep, beep, beep. Imagine that? 3 a.m. Beep, 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 beep. I can't do it, okay? It might be childhood trauma, but I had to get up to like 7 a.m. Home Depot finally got the battery, and then boom, we're good. But who can live like that? I don't understand. Like, I just don't get it. So number one, sellers don't take you seriously. Number two, it's going to mentally screw you up. I think the frequency is going to put your brain to mush. And I don't get it, okay? And then third, it's annoying. Rant over, okay? Like I as a kid, I had one instance with this thing. We didn't have the battery, and we had to wait at 3 a.m. It goes off because what other time would it go off? I wait till 7 a.m. to get the battery at Home Depot and open. Beep, 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 beep. Can't do it, okay? And so I had 3 people last week not have smoke detector. And then fourth, if the smoke detector monoxide goes out in your house, that's very dangerous. Like, I don't want you to lose your life, okay? I don't want you to be in harm's way. So let's not care. Let's kind of put aside, the whole staying alive type thing. That's for another day, right? Staying alive, who cares about that, right? I swear, if I get one extra person I haven't talked to, okay, with the smoke detector, I'm buying probably 100 batteries and I'm shipping them out to all y'all, so I don't have to listen to the stupid thing. If Justin hops on here, has the beeping again, I'm gonna shut him off. I'm gonna get his Addy, and we're gonna send him 100 batteries, so I don't have to ever hear it again. Okay? I don't have to understand how crazy that night when I was 12 years old has on me, with smoke detectors beeping. Can anybody legitimately tell me, could you spend an entire night like that? I don't understand how Justin does it. Justin has to be mentally stronger than all of us combined to be dealing with that. Beep, beep, beep. Don't get me started, okay? Now that has got me rizzed up, okay? That's got me rizzed up, all right? So, drives me crazy. But guys, that's it today. If you want to hop on the one-on-ones, Rick is doing one tomorrow on his channel. He has a Rick Ginn channel called Rick Ginn, and he goes live at 5 o'clock on Mondays. If not, we'll see you Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then Friday at 1 p.m. So 5 o'clock tomorrow, Rick Ginn channel. Flip with their Zach Ginn channels on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then obviously next Sunday night is Christmas. And why do I do what I do? why do I make the amount of money I do? Why do I push myself? Why do I do all these things? I do it for family, and I will be spending Christmas with my family. So I have already recorded a bomb video on how to make $15,000 wholesaling X list, and I will release it. And I'll release that probably Monday, and then I'll do another video. Maybe I'll release that Sunday, but I'll have a really nice recorded video for y'all Christmas evening. All right. So after you're done watching Elf and National Lampoon's Vacation, which are two GOAT Christmas movies, I don't care what you have to say. And then from there, y'all can watch the video I have. So that's it, guys. So I won't be doing a live Sunday. So I will be with my family for Christmas. And then y'all are going to be kind of busy on Christmas. And there's no wholesaling really be done on Christmas, which kind of stinks. But I'll be recording a video, and then we get to go. So I really appreciate it. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Usually I was not going to do a live Friday, but I was like, wait, because I'm like, wait. No, I got to do a live Friday. I got to flex on these gurus, right? I was like, oh, it's 23rd. We're good. So, guys, I'll see y'all on Tuesday. And make sure you got your questions. Hop on the live streams if you want. And let's get some deals, guys. I mean, really, you can still wholesale probably till the 23rd. 24th is pushing it. By the 23rd, people are still ready to make decisions on selling. You can still do deals till the 23rd. So you're good to go. So, guys, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, guys. Make sure you go to freewholesaling.com. Boom, boom, boom.